Hey everyone, welcome to Gamers with Gains. Now let's talk about Disney Infinity. If you don't know what's been happening lately, a couple days ago, Disney had announced that they're planning on discontinuing Disney Infinity, and there will be no new edition this year, as well as no more production on the Disney Infinity figures, as well as the game also not receiving any more updates after June of this year. This is pretty sad because a lot of people, including myself, really enjoyed Disney Infinity ever since its first inception when it first came out. I remember at E3 last year being able to go to the Disney Infinity booth and see all these crazy cool displays, not only of the new figures that were coming out at the time, which was the brand new Star Wars set for the latest Disney Infinity actual edition, but also seeing all the different types of pogs on the disc and the displays for the different power disc and all this cool other stuff that was really celebrating the game, not only at E3, but at a variety of other events that I went to as well. If you guys didn't know, I did the review for Disney Infinity 3.0 over on the Koalition.com, where Disney Interactive actually sent me a whole starter pack for the Star Wars edition of the game. And they also sent me a few figures, as well as also during New York Comic Con I was able to get some figures at the time that hadn't been released yet. But here's some of the figures here. Again, I don't have the actual display here for my starter pack that I got, but I have the Rebels, Sabin Wren, I think he's pronounced it. One of the figures that I got from the Star Wars Rebels set for Disney Infinity 3.0, as well as also the Marvel Heroes collection. I got this when I was at New York Comic Con, which is the Hulkbuster armor. It's one of the bigger figures of the set, very similar to the Hulk himself, but again, it's part of the Marvel section or Marvel selection of characters and figures for Disney Infinity 3.0. But here's a couple of the different things I want to touch on why Disney Infinity is kind of getting shut down by Disney themselves. And a lot of the stuff is being cited from various different interviews and also investor calls ever since the news was first announced. Disney themselves, or at least representatives of Disney, have come out and said that the cost for making the figures and actually maintaining the game, through updates and as well as producing new and interesting figures and play sets, in order to keep the game vibrant and alive throughout this and now in the, this video game industry as things are changing, wasn't really kind of like working for them. It wasn't pulling in enough money, it wasn't making enough profit and stuff. At the same time, it was costing so much to keep everything going. At least one Disney executive puts it in a Kotaku interview was that the risk kind of caught up to them and they didn't have any more confidence in the business model for Disney Infinity, especially in a changing gaming industry or changing gaming landscape and such. And I could totally understand that. Not only did the Disney Infinity figures cost a little bit more so than the Amiibo figures that you see coming from Nintendo, especially with the way that the actual figures were designed. Again, look at these figures right here. You can't really get a sense just by looking at it, but it's pretty weighty and it has a lot of different, little details on it and such. It's really solid figure, but this isn't cheap to make. This is something that costs a pretty penny in order to actually get on store shelves, courtesy of Disney. And the price reflected that. It was about, I want to say, almost about $15 sometimes for a figure, depending on what it was. Not only because of the Disney license on there, but again, the manufacturing cost and being able to put them on the shelves and such at different retailer outlets. Not just something like GameSpot, or GameStop, I almost said GameSpot, GameStop. But either way, the game itself was still fun. I really enjoyed Disney Infinity 3.0 when I reviewed it for the Koalition. But one of the other things that people keep bringing up is that its comparison to stuff like Skylanders as well as also Amiibo. While Amiibo may not be kind of like a fair comparison because that's a different types of toys to life figurine line that kind of works a little bit different with the Wii U and all the other first party Nintendo titles. But Skylanders is a little bit much more of a safer comparison because both game franchises were similar in nature, not only in their approach to producing figures, but also their gameplay elements in the games themselves. All the different types of Skylanders games, as well as also all three editions of Disney Infinity. The difference is, though, is that while Disney Infinity had the solid licenses for all these characters to appear in their games, again, with the figures, as well as the in-game models and playsets and such, Skylanders had the much more stronger gameplay, at least from what I'm told. I've never actually sat down and played Skylanders in depth, but one of the general consensus things that I hear from a variety of different people that have done stuff for Skylanders throughout the years is that the gameplay for Skylanders was a little bit more solid, a little bit more fleshed out than that of Disney Infinity. Again, it really comes down to personal preference and it's really subjective in nature, but for the most part, a lot of people didn't seem to be gravitating towards Disney Infinity, or at least they weren't buying enough figures or buying into the game itself as much as compared to people that were buying into Skylanders. Again, gameplay could be a factor between the two titles or whatnot, but also you have to take into account, again, the licenses of Disney themselves, all these different crazy characters, including now the Star Wars characters, the Marvel characters, all the Disney proper characters, as well as new movies that Disney has been promoting for a while. there are 2 more sets that are coming out for Disney Infinity right before the actual discontinuation of the entire set and the entire games and stuff. That includes Alice Through the Looking Glass and also Finding Dory. I believe there's like a couple figures that are part of each set and stuff. And that's fine and such. However, it is a damn shame to see that this game is kind of going under after there was so much invested into it by Disney themselves. Again, a couple of the representatives from Disney Interactive really took to Twitter and social media really talking about how much they had a lot of fun being part of this actually whole ride. I remember being in a panel at New York Comic Con where they were talking about Disney Infinity. It was for the new Battle of Superheroes like play set or Battle of Superheroes content for the Marvel set for Disney Infinity 3.0 or Marvel Battlegrounds, that's what it's called. The Marvel Battlegrounds, where again, it's a bunch of different characters, you know, playing on the fact of like Captain America Civil War and what was going on with the Marvel Universe. And the way they would talk about this game was really really enthusiastic, and they enjoyed being part of this whole ride that was Disney Infinity. But either way, things are coming to an end. June is when we're going to expect the last Disney Infinity update, and then there's going to be no more support for the game afterwards. The figure lines are going to be discontinued at some point, so if you're a big Disney fan, you might want to scoop up some of these figures now. Again, don't go crazy buying them like, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars of figures and stuff, but if you still like collected them like as much as I did, again, I don't have a huge collection, but I have at least a couple here and there, you might want to scoop up the ones that at least you think that people are going to want here and there. Either way, guys, that's just my thoughts on Disney Infinity 3.0 or just Disney Infinity in general. I love the series. I thought it was cool. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think about Disney Infinity. Just if you enjoyed collecting the figures, if you enjoyed playing the game, if you just enjoyed the cast of characters that they got, all the different types of IPs, you know, Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, etc. Put it in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave me a like on this video, subscribe to the Gamers with Gains channel for all my gaming related videos, and don't forget to follow me on Twitch TV. I'm streaming every single weekday on Twitch TV, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yesterday, I was actually streaming on the Koalition Twitch channel, doing an exclusive preview, an exclusive in-depth discussion of my review of Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. The game comes out next week, at least at the time I'm making this vlog, and I was able to kind of like divulge a little bit more info about the game itself, talk about my review, and really have a lot of fun opening up that discussion with the chat. So I encourage you guys to come check out my Twitch chat or my Twitch streams and stuff. Again, links to all this stuff is in the description box below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at VenomousFatman1. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Gamers with Gains. Again, all those links are in the description box. I will talk to all of you again very soon. Peace out, stay epic everybody.